to go through there, hopefully without taking down the screens.
Okay.
Okay, you just need to have your baby on your shoulder, and then that would make this really good.
He's not that far from that, believe me.
Oh, is he down lower?
He's hanging out in the hallway. I have one of those jumpers that attach to the door frame. So
oh, nice.
He likes to watch me work.
You know what? That's the realities of us moms doing business, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And I love that we can do that. When I started, I'm actually brewing a blog post in my head, because when I started business, I tried to do business like everybody else, and that didn't work. And it's so nice to just be, this is the mayhem of my life. This is the way it is.
This is my son has his own shirt embroidered with our logo. So when we do live events, he actually shows up with us on the trade show floors.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
He has a little name tag that we made for him that matches with our branding, and it says, I'm the CFO. So people ask him because they think like Chief Financial Officer, and he's like, oh no, I'm the Chief Fun Officer. I make sure my mommy has fun.
Perfect. Perfect. I love it. That's great. Now, I can't see what my background and everything looks like, so you're going to have to just tell me.
You're fine.
If it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to close Facebook, or should I not?
I have it all open, and it works just fine.
Okay. All right, well, I'll leave it. I don't know that I need it for anything. Do you want me to be paying attention to anything in the group?
So what I do is, the way that it works is that we're actually streaming live right now. And I'll just explain the setup a little bit, because this is a she broadcast, like crazy she broadcast, but it really works. So what we did is we created a Google Hangout on Air, and which is different than a Google Hangout. You have to do a Hangout on Air because that connects to your YouTube channel. So we created a Google Hangout on Air, and then we kept that private. So only Sherri and I are the two people that know about that Google Hangout on Air. And then so her and I are actually sitting on Google Hangouts, which then the Google Hangouts is connected to my YouTube account, which is also streaming live. So my Google Hangouts and my YouTube are connected. And so whatever happens on my Google Hangouts on Air also happens simultaneously on my YouTube. Now here's the thing, is that your YouTube live can connect to Facebook. So if you use the YouTube link for your Hangouts on Air, you can post it in your Facebook page or your Facebook group, and it'll create this live video broadcast directly in your Facebook page, like we're doing now.
Well, that's awesome. Thank goodness you know what we're doing.
So it's really easy. You create a Hangout on Air, you go live, and then you take the link that's generated, you paste it, just literally paste it into your Facebook page, and it's going to embed the live video into your Facebook post, and people can watch us live. And then people will come in, they hit the play button, and wherever we are in the live broadcast is where it will bring them in. And then later on, that post will become the recorded replay of your live broadcast. So it's live streaming in Facebook, Google, Plus, and YouTube all simultaneously at the same time right now. I'm almost about repurposing content.
That's awesome.
and data and everything. And then later on, that video, the replay of it gets stored in your YouTube account forever and ever, and you can then go in and SEO optimize that video and get this video ranked in Google and whatever you want to do with it. If you want to do syndication, if you want to share it, if you want to turn it into an evergreen webinar, there's a million and one things that you can do with video. If you've read my book, you know that I teach 22 different ways that you can repurpose the Hangout video. So there you go. That's the technology that we're doing today to bring you, Sherri. And we have Catherine is actually live in the chat with us. So the second part to this whole video mix-up, mashup that we're doing today is that you can then use your Facebook comments as the chat role, which kind of simulates and gives interactivity between you and your people that are watching the video. So if you're out there and you're watching, then go ahead and ask us questions, because this is titled the Ask the Expert Hour for a reason, because we want you to ask us questions so that you can be clear on the things that we're doing. So today's topic is all about Facebook. And I brought some expertise about Facebook and video, and Sherri is here. She's amazing at all things Facebook. She's actually one of the admins that I invited in purposely to help me manage this group and to grow this group, because this is the first time that I've built a group on this level, and I have a really big vision for it. So she's one of my guides, consultants, and good friends who came in and stepped up to help me make this a reality for all of us. So please post your questions in there. I can see that we have viewers.
That's awesome.
So
I like that.
I know you're out there, and I know Catherine, she's telling me that I'll love the cover of Natural Awakenings magazine. Since I have my turtle, yes, my sea turtle painting that I have behind me. You know, that's actually really special, because one of the things that I learned about business and why I use the sea turtle as my trademark in all my broadcasts is, I don't know if you know, how many of you know the story of a sea turtle and how a sea turtle is born. In that, the mother lays the eggs in the sand and buries them on the beach. And I actually live in one of the places where it's the highest concentration of sea turtles on the East Coast. So I can literally walk across the street, and at nighttime I can see the turtles coming up this time of year and laying their eggs. So that's one part. But the other part is, if you knew the psychology of the sea turtle, which is amazing. I don't know if you know this, Sherri, but the mom buries the eggs in the sand, and she drags herself out of the ocean with love and kindness and everything that a mom does, and she puts her eggs in the sand, and she always goes back to the place where she was born. So the mama sea turtle never forgets her roots. No matter where she travels in the whole world, she always goes back to put her eggs in the very same beach within a few hundred feet of where she was born. So they have like a magnetic geocompass built into their brains so they can navigate the world, and she knows exactly where she was born. So
that's amazing.
The mama, love and care, love and kindness, never forgets where she came from, always honors that, drags herself with great effort out of the sea, because she doesn't have legs, up the beach, lays her babies with care, makes sure they're protected by being buried, and then she leaves and goes on her journey. The babies in themselves, when they're first born, it takes them 2 days to dig out of that hole. So their very first moments of life, once they're out of that shell, is 2 days digging through the sand nonstop to get out of the sand. And then they've got to crawl through seagulls and crabs and people and all this dangerous stuff that is attacking them to try and get into the ocean. And then once they get into the ocean, they have to swim a few miles, and they never rest this whole time, from the time they come out of the egg till the time that they get out to the tide current that's going to take them away. That's a couple miles out away from the beach that they're born. They don't rest. So they dig for 2 days, they crawl across blazing hot sand, get attacked by everything under the sun, finally make it to the waves, struggle to get through the waves to break through, get into the water, have to swim for a couple days to get out to this place where there's a current. Once they get into the current, they find some floating seaweed, and they take a rest, and then they let go, and they trust that the current in the ocean will take them where they need to go. So this little sea turtle is like the story of an entrepreneur. It's for me, it's all the struggle, the triumph, I made it out of the sand, and now I've got to crawl on the sand, and now I've got to fight the waves, and now I've got to get out there. And then when you get out there, you have to just let go and trust that this is where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. So that is why I love the sea turtle for my business representation.
That is awesome. I've always loved sea turtles, but I didn't know all that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. There's on, I think it's Netflix or Amazon, one of those is The Journey of a Sea Turtle, and it actually tells the whole story about that, and it's amazing. The film, the photography, everything is all about that. It was actually filmed on the beach where I live.
Wow. You're so lucky to be right there. One of the things that my kids and I want to do is go to one of those reserves that helps the little babies in their journey. Mm-hmm. You know, we saw that when we were in Mexico last year. There was an option to do that, and we saw it like the day before we were leaving, so we couldn't do it. We said, well, we have to come back so we can help.
Come visit. It's across the street from my house.
Well, how many times have we talked about that? I'm coming, and we're doing videos and saving sea turtles.
Come down, we'll do videos. Actually, last year on my video boot camp that we did for the weekend, I actually had my husband at 10 o'clock at night when we wrapped up our power session in the evening. He brought everybody as a group down to the beach, and we all watched the mama sea turtles come out of the ocean and lay their eggs as actually part of the fun from one of my boot camp retreats.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Wow.
just amazing stuff. Oh, wow, we've got some comments here. Sandra, I love the story. Catherine, she didn't know all about the sea turtle. Yeah, the sea turtle process is intense, just like us entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
The constant rebirth and a constant trust. We have a question from Anna, which is great. So she says, my question is, how is it that I can have my video on YouTube as I'm broadcasting live on Facebook? Can you explain more on this and what needs to be done to make sure that it happens? Sure, Anna. Well, we just talked about that when we came in. So if you have a specific question about what happens, but what we're doing, Sherri and I, today to make this broadcast live on Facebook is that we created a Google Hangouts on Air, and just Sherri and I are sitting in the Google Hangouts on Air. When you make the Google Hangouts on Air live, there's a link, a sharing link that will show up in the Google Hangouts on Air. You copy and paste that link into a post on Facebook, and then what it does is it will stream the video live from your Google Plus account to your Facebook account, and it will also stream it live on your YouTube channel at the same time. So it doesn't have anything to do with Facebook Live today. We're actually forcing a marriage between Google, YouTube, and Facebook, which is something a lot of people aren't doing or taking advantage of. And I think that it's just because they don't know that it's possible to do that. But my personal thing is that I'm a button pusher. I'm like a crazy button pusher. I'm one of those people who like will get something and I have to press every button on it to see how it works and what happens. So, you know, being in different groups and different discussions and different things, this was figured out, and I think it's a fantastic way to create videos and create conversation within Facebook. I'm not a huge fan of Facebook Live yet. It's still in its infant stage, and probably, Sherri, we can talk a little bit about that because I know they made some changes this week as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They sure did, and brought a lot of fun things. I think the thing I've noticed with Facebook, being on it for all these years and working exclusively within Facebook, is a lot of their stuff comes out needing tweaks. And then they kind of listen to the feedback from people, complain mostly about the changes, and then things get better and better, and you kind of give it, you know, 6 months. It's kind of like the Windows 10 upgrade. I don't know anybody who upgraded the first day they saw it. Kind of wait a little while for them to fix some of the bugs, and then it starts getting better. But they're super responsive, and that's what I really like about them, is as they get feedback, they respond and they improve their products and services based on the feedback. So I'm sure it's only going to get better and better and better as they work on it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they added some new things, and it's interesting. And, you know, I'm not sure, Sherri, what your take on this is, but I was pretty bold, and I had some people ask me questions on it, is that, yes, when they announced that you can do Facebook Live, which Facebook Live is basically you have your cell phone and you turn on the video thing, and then you're broadcasting yourself live directly into Facebook. But it's like, for me right now, it's a one-way conversation with chat and all of that, and it's only one person at a time. But they announced that you can add the Facebook Live and you can actually do it in groups now. So I don't know, Sherri, about the groups that you're in for women entrepreneurs, but everybody's kind of got, well, let's just say their panties in a bunch to be nice about it, about this feature, because a lot of people are jumping on and saying, hey, we have a new rule, no Facebook broadcasting in this group. You can't promote yourself that way. We don't want it. And, you know, I came back and I thought about it with this group, and I want you to. I want you to jump on the camera like Ashley Capps. She jumped on the camera yesterday for the first time ever. She created a video and put it here in the group, and that's why we're here. That's why we're here doing this, and why I created this space in this group. I want you guys to jump on, test out Facebook Live. This is a safe place for you to come and experiment with video. Jump on Facebook Live, come in here and see what happens. We're all here to help you. No one's here to judge you. We're all here to help you so that you can make things even better than they already are. So I don't know about your group, Sherri, but mine were crazy yesterday.
So just to let you know, as you were talking about that, I decided that I would do a Facebook Live from my phone of us doing this.
Yep. Mine didn't look out of me. I actually had a little thing set up with a sign, and I was going to put, hey, I'm Facebook Living over here, and then I was going to have a piece of paper on my phone and then have them come over here with a link. But I didn't quite get to it this morning. It's been a crazy morning for me as a mom with two little boys at home.
Yeah, I'm streaming this live for us now, so that'll be interesting. You know, I think Facebook Live in your group, you're going to have rules about that, right? I mean, if you don't have rules, people are going to go crazy. It's going to be like, you know, all those groups that started out with good intentions, business groups, let's promote our businesses, and now all they are is, you know, people just blasting their sales and promotions. And so like anything else, you're going to have some guidelines and some rules to sort of control the behavior. I'm certainly going to encourage the people in my groups to use it, because we all talk about how do we use Facebook to grow and build our businesses and bring in more income. This is a fabulous tool that may still, you know, have work left to do on it, but it's going to be an important part of their marketing mix. The thing that I find interesting is, while Facebook doesn't want us to do business on our profiles directly, right now this is only attached to our profiles. Mm-hmm. We can put it into groups, right? So it's kind of interesting. I want to see how it's going to go. You can put it into an event, but as far as I know, it's still not, you can't connect it to a group or to a page, a business page. And so it's kind of interesting that they're made it available through profiles at this point in time. So I'm interested to see how you go. Patricia said on my live that she can hear me, but she can't see me. There, now you can, Patricia, because I was showing my screen talking to Jessica, somebody on my live.
There you go.
There's Jessica. I'm just going to flip my phone around back and forth. There I am, Patricia. Thanks.
Yeah, we're just embracing all technologies here. We get a couple cell phones, pop up a Periscope, pop up a Blab.
Let's see how many technologies we can use at one time. Is that what we're going to try and do?
Simultaneously broadcast on every channel possible. Hey, you know, repurpose. So
absolutely.
Yeah, Catherine had a question in there. She says, where do I find the link for Facebook Live?
So it's only available through your phones right now. It's not on desktop, and you go into your phone to your profile as if you're going to write a status update. And when you go to type in your status update, it's one of the little teeny tiny icons just underneath your status update. Whether you want to upload a picture, there's now an extra one that is the live icon. You just click on that and away you go.
Yeah, awesome. And now is it on, I'm assuming it's on Android now? It
is available Android and iPhones for sure. Yeah.
Okay, because I knew that was a hullabaloo when they were like, "Hey, why only Apple people get it first?" I'm like, sorry.
Well, because we're Apple people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna unplug my headset from my computer and see how the sound goes. See if you can still hear me. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll be able to. And because people are saying on the live, of course, I had my headset in. They couldn't hear you. They could see you talking, but they couldn't hear you. So. Can you hear me okay?
We might get some feedback though.
Let's see. If we do, I'll just replug it back in.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I can hear a little reverb, but it's not horrible.
Okay.
Sometimes, like for me, when I'm doing web broadcasting, the Logitech C920 is actually really good at buffering your mic. So when you're talking, it turns on, and when you're not, and it's coming through the computer, it shuts off. Fantastic web broadcast camera. It's $55 on Amazon. We recommend it for all of our clients.
Wow, that's awesome. I know I have. Oh, I'll have to look into that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm using right now. So you'll see that I have the nice. It's a wide angle HD, so I have the nice camera shot. It's really good on the lighting. The microphone's decent that you almost don't need a second microphone. And it's amazing for $55.
Yeah, awesome deal.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
So, let's see. Does anybody else have any questions? We have a whole ton of people in here. I can see everybody, thanks and different comments and things. Yeah, Catherine, she said, yep, that explained it with the Facebook Live on the phone. She hasn't used her phone for much anything yet. Oh, Catherine, video and phones is my favorite topic to talk about. For sure. So yeah, get in there and experiment. You know, I challenge all of you that are on here now, come back later, try in the group, and try that button. Try that little Facebook Live button and see what happens. You never know.
What a great way to connect and engage with people in a spontaneous way and so much more personal. And it feels like when I think of doing a video, I kind of get cold sweats.
Yeah.
I think, you know, get my hair done, I've got to get my makeup done, I've got to get my lighting, I've got to write a script, and it becomes this beast for me, and that's why I need to come to Florida along with the beach and the turtles. But it becomes a big about alive and connect with people, and I'm not thinking video the same way, it seems, and it's freed me up a little bit more to be open. And I see, like Patricia said in my live, you know, great, I found how I could do a live, but I'd have to make sure I have all my makeup on and everything and my hair done before I would be willing to do it. And it kind of, it feels so much more organic to me than having to prepare for what I think a video preparing should look like. So that to me is kind of exciting.
Yeah, you know, it breaks down the barrier, and I talk about that a lot with people, and excuse my landscapers outside. It's Florida, we can't help it. But really, you know, like Ashley, I made a comment, imperfectly perfect, which, you know, my coach said to me a long time ago when I first started doing video, and I have a degree in, not a degree, but a background in graphic design, and I was always focusing on how everything needed to be absolutely perfect to get things done, and I wasn't getting videos done, I wasn't getting my graphic done, I wasn't getting my landing pages done because I was so stuck on perfect. And he said to me, he said, imperfect action will always get you more results than perfect inaction. And that kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, and it became my motto for video and everything that I do, because, you know, the makeup, the hair, the this, the that, and makeup stylists and all these things that people think that they need, that's not who you are every day. And who you are every day is what people fall in love with. Is, you know, people aren't buying your product or your service or this or that. They're buying a piece of you because they fell in love with you. And that's what video is all about for me. It's all about being who you are and just letting that shine through. So it doesn't need to be fancy equipment. Like Ashley's video, you know, her son Jack is 7 years old, and he's holding the camera and he's waving it around, and half her head's cut off and this and that and everything else. But that's what makes her video perfect.
Yeah,
that's what was the perfection in it, was that she was her authentic self. Yes. And that's what this is all about, and that's exactly where everything is moving to. So it's so exciting.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love, you know, that we can make those kind of connections. And like you were saying, people don't buy your product and service, they're buying a piece of you, but they also don't buy it because you've got the best hair or the best makeup or the best script, right? They buy it because you understand what they need, and in having your conversation and understanding what your customers need, they buy it because they know you're going to have a solution for them, not because you've got the best hair or makeup.
Yeah,
that's a good.
You know, it can also be disappointing. It can backfire on you, where, you know, I had someone who paid a lot of money for a VIP day, in the range of $10,000. And they go in and they do your makeup and they airbrush you and they do your Hollywood hair and this whole thing. And then they do the lighting in the studio and all of that. And so she had this whole video series that was created that cost her a lot of money. And then what she found is when she actually met people in person, when she was speaking at events, they kind of were looking at her like with a disconnect, because they were like, well, that's not really what you look like or who you are, because it was so far off, you know, the big eyelashes and the whole thing wasn't really who she was. So she had called me up and said, hey, I hate these videos that I just created. They're not working. They're not converting for me because people feel like there's a disconnect when they see me in person. Sure. And I'm like, yeah, it can happen. It can really happen, you know, that way. And it really, you know, to have someone who's Hollywood style and all that in my journey, it's been amazing. I've had an opportunity for the last 5 years to meet and greet and work with some pretty major celebrities. I can be honest, you know, Oprah, I can tell you, when I met her, the reason she is so successful is because her personality that she is on camera is who she is really in person. She is so warm and loving and caring and genuine in person that she doesn't change. She doesn't change for the camera. She doesn't change who she is. And I think that's a big part of why everybody knows who Oprah is, because it's her true essence that she shines through.
Yeah. Yeah, and that resonates so well. I mean, I talk to people every day about how do they use their Facebook to connect with people, and a lot, posting as if they're writing an advertisement for a newspaper or for TV, and they're writing a script and they're focusing on telling you the benefits of my product or my service, instead of just bringing that authentic, raw person to the page or your profile and connecting and building relationships. And I've always said being on Facebook is like being at a networking event on steroids.
Yeah. And it really, and networking and all of that, I believe that's going to change. I believe that networking online is going to be a whole different game. Can you imagine streaming a networking meeting like this into a Facebook group that you don't have to jump into your car and drive somewhere and do something? How fun would that be?
So much more efficient.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, we can all have a conversation and everybody would be on camera and doing all of these fun things. I mean, how cool is the times that we live in right now? I remember in '99 when I started my website design company, and I told my mom that I was quitting my cushy corporate job and that I was going to start a business working from home on the internet. My mom kind of freaked out, and the only home business at the time in '99 that was quite common was drug dealing. So my mom was kind of like, okay, my kid just moved to Miami. She's quitting her corporate job. I've watched way too much Miami Vice in my lifetime. Oh my God, my kid's a drug dealer. And she just was like having this whole panic mom thing going on. And I was like, no, Mom, I work on the computer. And she understands now, but it really took her a very long time to understand what it is that I do online. And it involves nothing to do with drugs.
That's so funny.
Yeah, whole different world. And
no kidding.
So let's see. I did see some other questions in there. Someone mentioned about the replays. Yes. Everything that we're doing right now is actually recording directly into my YouTube channel, where it will live forever. So when we are done with the live broadcast, the replay recording will be posted within the group in an archives that you can come back at any time and watch any of the live She broadcasts again and again. Or if you miss something, you can always come back and watch it at a later time. So that would answer that question. Let's see, I saw a couple other ones out there. I think Sandra was asking about Facebook Live, if it's in like Messenger and audio. Yeah, Sandra, it is. It's like Messenger in video. Would you say, Sherry?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the thing that's different though is Messenger stays private, right? It doesn't go out to everybody. It's just between the two of you. And right now, this is going to go out onto your personal profile's news feed. So all of your friends are going to have an opportunity to see this, not just the person you're connecting with. So that's just something to be aware of. You don't want to talk about too many intimate things on it, unless that's your business, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Lisi has a question about, there's a little delay. Is it because you're doing it through Google Plus and YouTube? There's actually a couple reasons for that. Traditionally, Google Plus, when you broadcast live, has about a minute delay. So what you're seeing in the live Google Plus is about a minute ahead of what everyone else is seeing in the broadcast. And that's just the way the system works, because they're bouncing the video signal from server to server to server all over the world. So that's typical. However, the way that we're doing it, there could be a little lag because of that you're picking up, or it just could be your plain internet. Sometimes it gets slow and things slow down. I know in my house, when everybody starts turning on their Netflix on their phones and watching devices and everybody's home, my work bandwidth goes down a little bit, and Mom has to go downstairs and remind everybody that she's doing a broadcast. So it happens. There's a lot of different reasons for that. And let's see, Jean has a question. How hard is it to show a computer screen if you want to show a how-to and a software product? Jean, that's a great question. And if you're using Hangouts on Air, there is a screen share feature that's really easy to use. You just click the button and say share my desktop, and then whatever you do on your desktop will show to everyone else out there in the world that you're broadcasting to. So, And let's see. Yeah, booming. Awesome. Imagine Facebook Live setup is like Blab having conversations. Yeah, it is. It is pretty much. Catherine likes the idea of networking through Facebooks. And, you know, health issues sometimes keep me from leaving the house. Oh, Catherine, I am so on board with you that that is like the perfect thing. I have an 8-month-old and a 6-year-old, and sometimes getting out of the house is an adventure. Let's just say that. So, you know, I love networking and I love being out there and I love connecting with people. And, you know, if I can make it easier and stay home and have my t-shirt on with my pajama bottoms and my fluffy slippers and still be comfy and presentable, then I am 100% for that. So,
Me too. I'm
yeah,
in.
yeah. So, awesome. Lisi, I hope I'm saying your name right, and I apologize. She wondered how others were doing their videos, and she feels that she's been enlightened today. Oh, Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you. You're the reason that we're here and that we're doing this. And Sherry's going to share some of her Facebook rock on knowledge with us because she's a whiz. Her and I are in a mastermind group together of women CEOs, and she is just brilliant in the group about Facebook. So I want to make sure that we spotlight some things. So please, please, please post in the chat questions that you have about Facebook, Facebook marketing. You know, her specialty is how to turn your timeline into a cash line. So how do you do all of this social media stuff that we're supposed to be doing and get money from it? How do you do that? Because sometimes, you know, a lot of times, I'm sure Sherry can speak for that, but people are like, I'm posting like crazy and I've never made a sale. Okay, so pronounce like, oh, please. Okay, Lise. All right, we got it. I'm good. We got you, Lise. Thank you so much for that and correcting me on that. So awesome. So Sherry, I know you have some ideas. Looks like Anna Maria has a question. Yep. She says, ladies, as an expert in image and personal style, it is so important to show up in your videos, life, and business as authentic as possible, of course, with the clarity of who your target audience is in addressing the best way to portray the best image of yourself. My recommendation is to have awareness of who your target audience is so that you're representing your brand and personality in a way that creates trust and that is memorable when the first 10 seconds of being an infant of a potential dream client, being in front of a potential dream client. Oh, totally agree. You know, with your brand and all of that, and do different things. So if you're actually correcting me on in front, so it really is. I mean, she's dead on with that. It's your style. So anything what you do with your image on video, but even more so, Sherry, and it might be a good topic to talk about that, is, you know, your video is important because people are looking at you and how you represent yourself and all of that. Like showing up in my bathrobe with my hair up in a ponytail, probably not the best idea to do a broadcast. A little bit of professionalism here. I choose to do mine casually because I believe, you know, come as you are for this type of broadcast. If I was speaking on stage, you know, I would be a little bit more business casual with that. But for these type of videos, you know, I bring myself the way they are, but bringing your brand and your style and your representation of yourself is also important in how you Facebook post as well, not just with video, but just about everything that you do on social media.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I'm hearing myself. Should I go back to? Let me go put my headset back in and see if that helps. I don't know if it will or not. You know, I meet this, I hear this with a lot of people. I'm going to turn myself down because I keep hearing myself back. Weird. Okay. Oh, you know, when you're posting on Facebook, it's the same as if you're having a conversation with somebody. And I think that, you know, people are still trying to figure out, how do I do this marketing thing with this new thinking around social media. And it goes back to a lot of people still thinking, I post on Facebook, it's like writing an ad for a newspaper or a blurb for an ad in a newsletter somewhere, and that's what I do on social media. And it's not really the case. You want to be conversational and authentic, as was mentioned, as Anne-Marie said, authentic and as yourself, so that when they do meet you face to face, they don't just recognize your picture, but they recognize how you speak and what you say and how you connect with them. So I agree. I think that you have to be authentic and yourself. Like, you have to be careful not to be putting on that such a polished image that you are not relatable either. And you know, that's something that I think comes with repetition. You got to practice and try things out and try on different coats and see what you can figure out, what works, what doesn't work. I always say Facebook marketing is market research. So even the stuff that doesn't work, you want to look at that and see what you can learn from it, see what you can adjust, see how you can change things, and do different next time. And it's all just trial and error, really.
Yeah, it really is. So we actually had a question for you from Catherine, which is a really good question. She had posted it in another thread, but we found it and sorted it all out. Do you recommend using Facebook ads? I'll let you answer
Absolutely.
that. And so it's kind of a double question here. So do you recommend using Facebook ads? And also, what is the best time to be on Facebook for people to see what I post? So that's two questions in one. So we'll just double barrel at you, Sherri, because I know you can handle it.
Yeah, those are great questions. Definitely, I recommend using Facebook ads, but there's a bit of a caveat to that. Don't just jump in and start creating ads without at least doing some research. There's a learning curve to these. And I meet a lot of people who say, you know, I was on my page, and Facebook is very kind. They make a lot of suggestions that you might want to boost this post or boost your page or promote your website, and they make it really easy. Click this button, set your budget, and away you go. The problem is those aren't very specific, and you don't get to do a lot of targeting with that. They're trying to be helpful, but I find most people who use those without a lot of knowledge tend to waste a little bit of money because they don't have the depth of the targeting and the ability to set up the ads for the best results in that process. Not to say that I never use them, but I always use those little quick buttons that Facebook has there with specific strategies or goals in mind. So definitely I use Facebook ads. I think they're super powerful to connect you with new people that you don't know, that you want to bring into your tribe, into your family, whatever you call it, new people, dream clients that you want to work with. It's a way to build connection. You still have to have the foundation of a well-established page with, you know, a good number of people liking it, good engagement, great content. You still have to know what your message is. You have to know what the benefits are of working with you in order to have those new people actually see you and decide they want to engage with you, because our news feeds are so full. And I don't know about you, Jessica, but every time I'm in my news feed, it's, you know, ad after ad after ad of people telling me, here's my latest free report, here's my free ebook, here's a free video series. And there's a lot of those. You've got to stand out then. You've got to find some way to make sure that you stand out from that noise so that the right people resonate and connect with you. And part of that comes from social proof, which is the people who are already working with you using Facebook as a way to provide testimonials, endorsements, recognition, engagement, and then that, you know, positions you higher with these people who don't know you at all. They're going to look at that and go, oh, here's an ad on my news feed for an ebook, and there's no comments, no likes, no shares on it. And here's an ad for an ebook that's got similar content, but there's hundreds of likes, hundreds of comments, hundreds of shares. I'm going to go with the one that's got that social proof behind it, because that's other people saying you're awesome, not just you saying you're awesome. And that gets new people to connect with you. And really, ads, I think, have to be an important part of your Facebook marketing strategy these days. If you really want to be building a thriving business using Facebook. It's a great way to build email lists as well, is using Facebook ads to connect with new people. But again, you have to have that foundation in order to leverage the ads efficiently. What was the other part of that question? Oh, the best time to be on Facebook. So when you think about your page, in your page, I know you can Google anywhere, best times to post on Facebook, best times to post on social media, and you'll come up with hundreds of generic posts and articles that people have written around the general best times to post. But we can get really specific off of your page. And on your page, in your settings, under your, in your insights, under your posts, you will actually see a grid from Facebook that will tell you when the people who like your page are actually on Facebook. That, to me, is super important. If I know that 50% of the people who like my page are on at noon, I'm going to post at noon because there's the best chance of them organically seeing my post in their news feed. If I post at 11 in the morning and the bulk of them aren't going to be on until noon, they probably won't see my post because most people aren't going to scroll through their news feed back an hour to see my post because there's so much content going out. It's just so heavy. I don't know about you, but I don't really scroll more than 10 minutes previous in my newsfeed when I'm there. I don't spend a lot of time on my newsfeed because it does tend to be a time suck. But I think we really want to focus our times of posting based on the analytics that Facebook gives us, and it's right there on our page for us, so that we know we've picked two of those times that are your peaks and post then. And that's a 7-day moving chart. So you can go back to it in a week and you can see how you might have impacted that by your posting schedule. And I always, because I do business with people all over the world, I notice, and the clock is in my time zone, but I notice at 3 a.m., of course, people in my time zone are sleeping, not online. But it might be a really good time for me to schedule a post to go out if I really want to engage people, say, in Europe, because they're going to be on at that time. Mm-hmm. And so I could use that to really, get a sense of when's the best time to post. And then trial and error again, schedule a bunch of stuff out, really watch those analytics, make sure you're there to respond, and then look at it again in a week and see how it may have changed and fluctuated to plan your next week of posting.
Awesome. That's really, and also you can schedule your ads to show at certain times too, so you're not wasting your money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a little trick that I learned a while ago, a lot of people, I'm not a big rule follower in my life in general. I kind of do things off the beaten path from most people in my life. But when it comes to Facebook, I play by the rules because it's their sandbox and they've given me a great opportunity. I've built an entire business off of Facebook in 5 years, and I support my family with it. I'm not going to do anything to mess with that. I don't have all my eggs in one basket. I build an email list and I connect on other networks. So I'm not, like, if my Facebook page disappeared, I wouldn't be destroyed. I'd be pretty sad, but I wouldn't be destroyed. So, I play by Facebook rules as much as possible. But there are times of day, of course, you can schedule your ads to go out at certain times to connect with certain people. So if you're running an ad to people in Great Britain and you live in the west coast of Canada like I do, I may not want to have those ads running overnight when they're sleeping. Better to have them showing up in their news feeds when they're up, which is very smart. But I also know that I can get quicker approval on my ads if I tend to schedule them to start between 10 and midnight my time, because Facebook has less people working at that time, of course, and so they're a little less stringent and picky about catching suspected violations. So I don't break the rules, but I've heard of people who have had their ads denied because they used the word depressed in the ad. So they're saying to somebody, do you ever feel depressed? This is what you can do, but that word could be a flag and it catches it. There's less of that happening in the late at night, and so you might be able to get some of that by them a little bit more. Not because we're trying to break the rules. I really have to make sure I'm not encouraging that.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen a lot of people get shut down for silly stuff. Like, I have a client who works with divorce. She's a divorce coach for women, and Facebook doesn't like the word divorce, so they always hold their ads up for days while they're working on it. But even though we follow all the rules every time, she always gets jammed up with that, which is challenging because we have a webinar with a specific date that we need to get stuff out, and then Facebook's like, no, your ad's on hold for the next 4 days. Then we got to go back and change everything with the marketing, and
it's crazy. And how could the word divorce be offensive?
Well, what's interesting with that is that recently divorce has been added as one of the criteria for marketing now. It was never there as a relationship status before, and now it is. So we're hoping that next time she goes through the ad process that they're going to be a little bit more lenient with her now that divorce is actually one of their choices to market.
Sure, you hope so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. There's, it is a little bit of a minefield out there in Facebook ads. They have a lot of great support. They've got a lot of great explanations about their rules, but they don't always tell you everything. And I mean, I've said for years that Facebook, I don't think anybody had the plan that Facebook was going to be this beast when they started it.
I know.
Bunch of guys sitting around having some beers creating a social networking platform, and I think it's become this out of response to the demand by the consumer, which is fantastic. I mean, that shows how responsive they are to the needs of their customers, but it also has them running around putting out fires a bit sometimes, because stuff comes up, they go, this is a great idea, let's try it, and then something doesn't work the way they thought it would, or some unethical people do take advantage of things, they don't advertise well, and so then they have to respond to the crisis instead of avoid it in the first place. But I think it's part of what makes Facebook so special too at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising how much of a platform it's become, which is awesome in a sense. Because we love it. It's also a little scary sometimes about how dependent people are on it.
Yeah, I think you got to have balance, right? I mean, I started my business teaching people how to do Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and in 2013, I did some work with some Facebook marketers out of San Diego, and they really encouraged me to just say Facebook is my specialty and my expertise, and I did that. That's been a great move for my business. And so I teach and I coach and I do Facebook marketing for other people, for business owners, authors, coaches, speakers, but I still use the other platforms. Like I said, I don't put all my eggs in one basket. So while Facebook is my primary marketing tool, like you say, I don't want to be completely dependent on it. And I heard a story a few years back of a company out of Australia that had a Facebook page. They had about 800,000 people on this page. Like, it was a big page. And they shared a lot of pictures of amazing architecture from around the world. And they forgot to give attribution to the architect where this building was made, and somebody complained to Facebook, my work's being used by this company. They literally came in overnight and their page was gone, and there was nothing they could do about that. That was a few years ago. They had no one to even contact to say, we made a mistake, we'll fix it, whatever. They couldn't do anything. And if they hadn't built an equally large network on Twitter, on Pinterest, on any of these other things, an email list, they had to start from zero all over again. To me, that's the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night.
Yeah, I know. It's a little bit because, I see so many people that put all of their eggs in one marketing basket. Like, oh, I built up this Facebook group, but then, it always comes back to building your list. Really,
absolutely.
Maybe, do you have some suggestions? I know we have a few more minutes left, about 10 more minutes for the hour. So if you have any questions out there in chat world, make sure that you post them in there so that we can get to them today. But about 10 more minutes. What are some of your top tips for list building with Facebook? I mean, that's huge.
Oh, it is huge, and it's been super successful for me and my clients over the last year and a half or so. It really comes down to knowing your dream client or your dream customer almost better than they know themselves, what their needs are, what they want to achieve, and why they're not, and then positioning yourself as the solution to that. And of course, then you want to create some sort of free product. It could be a Facebook Live, it could be a webinar, it could be a freebie, a download, a spreadsheet, a cheat sheet. There's a huge number, of different kinds of freebies. The intent of it is, though, not to sell you, not to sell your product, it's to build relationships with those people, to let them know that you understand what their challenge is and you can help them, that you've overcome something similar, and you've got some quick and easy to apply steps that they can use to get results for them to achieve their dreams. And then using Facebook to find more people like your dream clients, using Facebook ads, really targeting, create lookalike audiences, and creating the social proof, conversation, having people talking to you. These are all such important pieces. There's so many pieces to it. After you've got your lead magnet created, you've got to run ads to it and invite people after they claim the free product, invite them in a way to build a deeper relationship with you. So whether it's a one-on-one strategy session or a quick call together, or a chat somewhere where you can deepen that relationship and really find out what it is that they need, and then offering programs and ways for them to move into working with you. But using Facebook ads to reach those people is really the key. For sure, and having the right product.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook ads is amazing. It's like the marketer's gift. A lot of that. And I think, a lot of people don't realize. Do you want to talk about the different things with Facebook ads? Like, I had a client the other day who was blown away because I was working with him on a strategy for a trade show. And we crafted an email for him. He's going to a trade show with thousands and thousands of his exact prospective clients. And he has a fantastic product that they really need. And so in preparation for the show, we were preparing an email which would then drive them to an offer. And then when I explained to him that, well, everyone who clicks on this, we can then collect retargeting pixels in Facebook. And so now when they're getting ready for the show and they log on to their Facebook, we can start showing them ads to remind them to come to your booth at this trade show. And to meet with you for this product. And then even after the show, we can change the ad to something else. And he was just like blown away, like, really? We can do that after. And so maybe a little bit about that. And then he didn't even realize that his list, with his email list, what he could do with his existing lists to bring, more business using Facebook ads. So.
Yeah, super. Just amazing what you can do with this these days. And of course, to do the retargeting, Facebook creates a small little bit of HTML code that you have to get installed on your website. So if you're like me and you're not techie, you copy and paste it to your web person and they put it in. You just say, put it in here between the head tags, and they know how to do it. But what happens is every time somebody hits any page on your website, then a little cookie gets dropped onto their computer. When they come back to Facebook, you can use that to show them ads specific to what they just saw. You can break this down by the page. So if you had somebody that came in a blog post, you may not want to run another ad to them for that blog post because they've already looked at it. You might want to send them to a different blog post or a sales page or an opt-in page. So you can really come back when they hit Facebook. You can craft very specific ads that targets those people based on where they've been on your website and drive them back to your website to other places on your website. Super fun way to do it. And I was just thinking, your guy with the trade show, how fun would it be to have ads going out during the trade show that are actually pictures of him at the trade show?
Yeah.
Reminding those people that had been there. So almost like a live, engaging ad. A video ad even you could do of him in the booth to the people who've already been looking at that. That would be so much fun,
that would actually
to leverage that.
That would actually be really fun because the machine that he's doing is I don't know if you're familiar with the banner industry, but they put the little grommets in the corners to hold the ropes so that you can hang a banner. He actually made a machine that does that automatically, and it hems the banner and puts the grommets in like 20 seconds.
Wow.
It's like only one person needs to operate it. So he's demoing this. They're bringing the machine and they're demoing it on the trade show floor. So doing some videos for that, it would be really exciting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, live demo video. That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. And then of course, I mean, as we've said, ultimately we want to get them somewhere where they're going to give us their email address. Once we've collected that email address, we can upload that into our Facebook Ads Manager and run targeted ads to those people. And a lot of people say to me, why would you want to do that? They're already on my email list. But just because they're on your email list doesn't mean they're your customer yet. So when you send out a newsletter to them, people look in their inbox and they go, oh, there's another newsletter. I'll look at that later. Then they go to Facebook to kill some time, and the first thing they see is an ad from you reminding them about the newsletter. totally increases your open rates and your conversion rates on that newsletter, because they're getting to see this at many touch points throughout their day. Super efficient. But then you can also say to Facebook, take this group of people from my email list and find me other people who are similar to them in the United States or in Canada or in France or in the UK. And Facebook does this work for you. This is, to me, is proof that Facebook is for the business owner. Because they'll go out and they'll look at those people, they'll look at their profiles, they'll look at the groups they're involved with, they'll look at the pages they like, the things they post, and then they use their database to find more people who have similar interests, and then allow you to advertise to those new people. And that's where we go back to the social proof. If you have a lot of people commenting and engaging on your page and your posts, these new people who don't know you from Adam are more likely to give you a like or click through to your opt-in page, because that social proof raises you in their standing. Yeah, I love doing those kinds of retargeting, taking people from an email list and creating lookalike audiences and finding new people. They're all partially qualified by Facebook for you.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, it's huge that the possibilities with Facebook marketing is endless. Endless possibilities for sure. But those are some of the things that you can do. She says, a Facebook email list, must learn more. So learn more. Sherri, are you covering some of this in your Facebook bootcamp?
We don't go into the in-depths about the pixels, just because we have, a wide variety, a range of people. We got 6 hours. In the boot camp, we really spend a lot of time talking about how to really identify who your dream customers are, and then how to find them on Facebook. We've got to start at the foundation and make sure that that's laid properly. So how do we find them on Facebook, and then how do we create content that they love to engage with? And then how do we use Facebook ads to grow our page so that we have more people who are the right people for us, but without breaking the bank, because I don't have $1 million Facebook ads budget, or right? Most of us don't. So I'm not Walmart. It doesn't matter how successful Walmart was in its last ad campaign, because I can't replicate that. So in a smart way, we use the money to be as efficient as we can and get the most results, most bang. So we talk about that. We talk about how to use images on Facebook in a way that really up-levels your engagement and your interest from people, and test images for future ads at the same time. It's a really fun technique I have called the viral photo stack. And then we get a little bit into that next step of the how do we get them off of Facebook and into our email list, and we start that process in the boot camp. We really finish that up in my 6-month program, because it takes 6 months to really get that going, get that foundation set, and get the email list being built and converting. Gotcha.
Awesome. So still the foundation and all that. Now you have a class I saw in your timeline coming up pretty soon.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Do you have a link for that?
I do. It is socialmediaminder.com/bootcamp.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah, I try to do that mostly because I can't remember anything longer. So yeah, that's the link for tomorrow's boot camp. The thing that I do, because I really just want to see people make this work and be able to work less. So they can go save turtles or whatever it is that they want to do. So anybody who registers for tomorrow gets lifetime access to the recordings of tomorrow's call, as well as my previous boot camps, but they will also get to attend my September boot camp coming up. So that price tomorrow includes all of that, lifetime access to the recordings, plus future boot camps this year. So can't really win, or can't really lose.
That's like a 2-for-1 right away. Holy smokes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody should say thank you, because that's really generous.
Well, like I said, I just really want people to succeed. That's what's important.
Anything else that you want to share, or any last minute questions? Because we are at time. It's 3 o'clock, and so we'll wrap it on up with anything else.
You know, if anybody wants to, I mean, I'm in the group with you and I'm happy to answer any questions in the group that might come up afterwards. If I can help with Facebook at all, I'm always available for that. If you want to send me a friend request, I accept most of them as long as you're not calling me darling and wearing military clothes and saying you're a widower from Croatia.
You always wanted to marry the guy that has a diamond mine in Africa. Come on.
Yeah, so as long as your profile looks authentic, then I will accept friend requests.
I love that guy.
I'm waiting for him. He was going to send me the diamond as proof, you see. So I'm waiting for the diamond to come in the mail, and then I'll marry him.
Oh, yeah, totally. Totally there. Mine too. He has lots of brothers.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. Yeah, someone else said that he's contacting you too. I know, it's so funny.
He's so busy. I think he's just putting things out to everybody, hoping somebody will bite, right? That's not good marketing. Don't just throw spaghetti against the wall and hope it sticks. Don't just send it out to 2 million women and hope one says yes. Be targeted.
Yeah, and that's the big part of it. You know, anything that you do online, any marketing, whether you're Facebook posting, whatever, your results will improve so much if you figure out who your ideal client is and what they want, and then just talk to them. Make them feel like when they see your stuff that they look at it and they go, that is exactly what I was looking for. How did she know?
Yeah, absolutely. She gets me, and then business is easier.
Yeah, easier. You don't have to sell at that point because then people just want to talk with you and hang out with you and all of that.
Yeah.
So awesome. So we're going to wrap it up. As Sherri said, Sherri is one of the admins in this group. She's helping me out to build this community of women who broadcast. Which is such a bold, big, huge statement. But I love it here. In the chat roll there in the comments is the link to her boot camp that starts tomorrow. If that resonates with you, go on ahead and check that out. She's brilliant. I would highly, highly recommend her services. Otherwise, I wouldn't have her here in the group to share her wisdom with you because she's amazing. And
thank you, Jessica.
All of you that are here are amazing too. Sandra wants to know how she can get in touch with you before the class. It looks like she has some questions for you. Sandra Lennett.
I see that. I will reply to her, and then we can connect up. You can send me a friend request and we'll connect.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. We've got some people in there making proclamations. I'm going to be a woman who broadcasts. Guess what? You already are.
That's right. That's right. Awesome.
Awesome, guys. So continue. We'll have the replay up in a little bit. It takes about 10 minutes for it to spool through YouTube, and then it'll start replaying again. But thanks for coming today. And I am just confirming what day and time next week for our broadcast. But I have an amazing person who is going to come in. You may have seen her online, Brenda Adelman. I'm trying to say her name right. But she's going to come in and teach us about next week your authentic story. Now, she is someone who has created a whole online empire around her authentic story. And I'll share a little bit of the details with you. When she was a little girl, her father killed her mother and then married her mother's sister. And she has learned the art of forgiveness and the art of storytelling and has been able to turn her mess into her message. So she's going to talk with us next week about how to take your story and your life experiences and turn that into experiences for other people that can help your business and to help share our message with the world. So huge, huge interview next week. I'm so excited about it. I'm just waiting for her to get back to me on the day and time, and then I will post it here in the group for all of you guys. And it's going to be the same format next week, live Q&A with video, of course. So thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Thanks, Jessica, for creating the space and having me on. It was fun.